California's Communities is supported by the California Redevelopment Association Foundation, a statewide organization made up of cities, counties, nonprofits, and private businesses sharing a common goal of bringing renewed life to neighborhoods and downtowns by expanding local businesses, creating jobs, building affordable housing, restoring buildings, and improving public facilities and infrastructure. Redevelopment, building better communities throughout California.
Okay, there it is in all its empty grandeur. We are not here on a game day. Boy, it's a beautiful sight to see it. An empty Petco Park, home of the San Diego Padres, located right here, almost in the middle of downtown San Diego. And I'm standing here looking out. Boy, this is a beautiful view, isn't it, Jan?
Oh, it is. And it's a beautiful day.
It's always a beautiful day in San Diego. I'm standing with Janice Weinrich from the San Diego Redevelopment Agency.
That's correct.
And let me see if I've got this straight, because I've been reading up on this. We're standing in an area of downtown San Diego that traditionally was an industrial warehouse area. Historically, lots of warehouses here, right?
That's correct.
And that went back for a long period of time.
Oh, historically, that is what the East Village area was.
Okay, when the powers that be, when the voters approved it, when everybody got on board that this was going to be the new location of the Padres, Petco Park, yes. It's going to be right here. You can't just plop a new ballpark down in the middle of a part of town and just, that's it.
That's correct.
It had to be a comprehensive redevelopment plan around it.
Yes, a whole mixed-use village it's become to be, with residential, commercial, retail. It's a 24-hour sub-part of the city of San Diego. Downtown.
Okay, and here it is right here. Walk over here with me, Janice, because you got this beautiful skyline here. We ended up over here in front of Mr. Padre, Tony Gwynn.
That's right.
And this area these days is known as?
This is known as the Ballpark Village.
East Village.
Correct. This is East Village.
Warehouse District.
It's
got a lot of different
names.
But a lot of people live and work down here.
That's
and
right.
This is one of, you showed me the map, it's one of 7 distinct neighborhoods in downtown San Diego.
That's correct, and they all have their own character and focus, which is really makes it for a very vibrant area.
Well, I've done just enough research to be dangerous on this subject, and I know that this is truly one of the real success stories, not only of redevelopment in California, but of redevelopment in San Diego. And that's what this adventure is all about. We're spending the whole day. Let's get out of the way so we can get a nice shot of Tony Gwynn there. We're spending the whole day here in East Village.
East Village.
In downtown San Diego. Okay, our tour of the neighborhood begins here in front of what Janice claims is the sweetest example of this redevelopment story. But before we tell that story, our cast of characters is increasing. Your name, sir, is?
Bruce Coons. I'm Executive Director with State Bear Heritage Organization in San Diego.
Okay, now from what I understand in my reading, the first redevelopment plans for this neighborhood call for a lot more new construction and for saving very few of these wonderful old historic structures.
Yeah, the original plans called for demolishing 12 historic structures. But we were able to work with the Padres and with the redevelopment agency to save 11 of those structures.
So what you did was, in work with the redevelopment and the Padres, work these plans around so that not only could you redevelop these areas, but you could redevelop them by saving and reusing and restoring a lot of these historic old structures.
Yes, and I think it's worked out very well. As the State Historic Preservation Officer said, it's kind of like a string of pearls strewn throughout the new development. And the new development, through design guidelines, was built to complement the historic buildings, not to mimic them, but to complement them.
So the new and the old work together very well here.
They work very well here.
All right, so this is an example of one of those wonderful old buildings that was going to be torn down. It's been saved. And this guy knows about the history, doesn't he, Janice?
He certainly does.
Your name is?
I'm Roger Scholey.
Well, wait a minute. That's your name
That's
up there on the...
Right.
Tell us the story of this candy company.
Well, my family started a candy company in San Diego in 1905, and in 1924 they built this building at 1 block west from where we're standing at 8th and K in downtown San Diego.
What kind of candy did they make?
They made chocolates, they made hard candies, they made bunnies at Easter and candy canes at Christmas time, and they were a big producer of candy during World War I and World War II.
You've sent us some wonderful old footage showing the actual manufacture of candy inside this very building.
Exactly, and I was only a couple years old when the business stopped in 1951. So all I remember is going to an empty building all during my childhood, seeing this building and growing up in San Diego with my sandwiches wrapped in Scholey Brothers candy wrappers.
But the kicker is, as part of redevelopment, you moved this building to this spot from where? A block or two away?
About a block away.
It supposedly is in the Guinness Book of Records, being the biggest unreinforced masonry building to be moved.
It took a lot of time to just get it structurally to be able to be lifted up, put on massive rollers, and then over a 3-day period, it was slowly moved to the new location.
That must have been a conversation piece for everybody. Crowds must have gathered to watch this.
Indeed it was. Every day we came by, a group that I run with, the Turtles, we came by, and as we slowly ran by, we watched it moving the opposite direction.
Just about as slowly.
Exactly.
But today it's here, and what's going to happen here now, Bruce?
Well, it's going to be leased out for office space and hopefully a restaurant that will serve the Padres ballpark and the park at the park here.
And why did you think it was important to save and move this structure?
Well, with San Diego's only candy factory, we thought it shouldn't be lost to history.
Yeah.
And it's something that really lights up the faces of the children when they see it.
And you pointed this out, I wouldn't have seen it. There's the bear, the emblem, up on the front of the building.
That's the California bear holding a candy cane.
And that proves...
That was the symbol of the company.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I still have the recipes if you want to try them.
We never really identified this grassy area across from Petco Park. It's a park in itself, isn't it?
That's correct. It's called the Park at the Park.
So when the games are not going on, it's a park.
That's correct.
When the games are going on, what do fans cover this area to watch the game free?
They do. You pay a minimal amount of money. You can be here. The game is on the big screen on the back of the scoreboard, as well as you're watching the game live, and you have access to all the concession stands inside the ballpark.
This is a beautiful area right here.
It is.
This is a little park in itself right over here, with another unsolicited testimonial right
Yes,
over here.
hello.
Your
How are
name
you?
is?
Maria.
Now, do you live in this area?
No, I don't, but I babysit for a family that does live in the area, but I don't live far.
And what do you think about this area?
I love it here. It's beautiful. I love being able to watch, the kids come and they play, and sometimes you get to watch the practices and the youth that comes and they do their little ball games. And
Now, had you ever been down to this part of town before it was redeveloped and spruced
no, I
up?
hadn't. No, not at all.
So this is all new to you?
This is new for me, and I love it. It's beautiful. They did a wonderful job.
Wow, look at this. And Janice, I'm just looking over here. Here's another one of these old buildings right here.
That's correct. It's another beautiful old building.
What is that? Do we even know?
It was the Schaefer building, and it has quite a history to it. I believe it was a parachute manufacturing company at one time. And now the ground floor is a fabulous restaurant with an outdoor eating area.
Wow.
And then there'll be office space or other retail uses on the other floors.
See, what I love about this area is the juxtaposition of the old
With the new.
with the new.
It's beautiful. They did a wonderful job with it.
Yeah, it's really breathtaking here to look at the new skyline and then come right down here, and there's the old parachute factory over there. And what's the baby's name?
Her name is Lucia.
Lucia? How you doing?
Say hi.
Lucia could care less about being on TV. She's heading over for the grassy area, for the park at the park. It's modern on the top, but as you pull out, you see that it's historic on the first floor. And Bruce, you said this was kind of controversial.
Yeah, some people didn't like the idea of putting a modern building above the other building, but it's completely above it. The original roof structure and even the clerestory windows are below it.
So it's kind of suspended above the old building, which used to be what?
It was a T&R Produce Company. It was built in 1933 and was a produce warehouse until the ballpark came in.
So this was a big produce area, lots of trucks and produce moving around here, and you say there's still some of that going on.
That's correct. This is where most of the produce houses were located in San Diego, and there still are a number of them scattered throughout the East Village and Gaslamp area.
Now, what's happening here now? Obviously, this is what, living space up on the top?
No, it's actually office condominiums. So it's their offices occupied, and there's still a few that are left for sale.
Wow, and this is another. See, I like this. I'm going to weigh in on this controversy because I like the mixture of the old and the new. I think they complement and reinforce each other rather than canceling each other out.
Some people do. We had 11 buildings to work with, and we tried a number of different ideas and preservation, and so we run the whole gamut to completely restored and some mixtures.
What do you call this, a mixture?
This one is a mixture.
A successful mixture. Exactly. I like it, and today it's called?
It's still the T&R Produce building.
So
yeah,
you kept the old names.
Definitely.
Now, I don't know a lot about architecture, but I know Art Deco when I see it. And this is Art Deco, and you said there's not a lot of this left in San Diego, Bruce.
No, we only have a few examples left of great Art Deco, and this is a really good one. It was built in 1937 by the WPA. As a fire station, which it still is today.
And you told me that the firefighters who live and work out of this station love this old building.
They do. They came to us en masse when it was threatened with destruction, and they really loved the building.
So they wanted to keep it.
They did, and they were really distressed that it might go away. They really liked working in this one.
All right, now this is still a fire station. What's going to happen to it? It's going to stay a fire station until a new fire station is built, and then what's going to happen to this? It's not going to be torn down, is it?
That's correct. On the adjacent land, a developer has proposed a large development, including a new fire station funded by the development company, and then this would be under the ownership of the developer, and they'd have it as a restaurant or a retail lease space. So it'll remain a historic building.
It'll have a new life, but it'll still be Art Deco.
It will. The firemen wanted to take the original fire pole with them
when they go to the new station.
That's right.
But the outside is going to look exactly like this.
It will.
Forever.
There's actually 2 fire poles in there, so one will be refurbished as part of the restaurant.
From a beautiful, big, tall, modern high-rise where people live to a low-rise, kind of nondescript, but beautiful in its own way that kind of looks like it used to be like a garage or something.
Yeah, it was the Kid and Crone Auto Parts. It has a real nice patina on the brick, but now it's a really popular pizza restaurant where they open the big roll-up doors to the pavement and people can wander right in.
So people are sitting out here at night.
That's correct.
Well, we're here in the morning,
right.
So we're not picking up that vibe. I guess there are different vibes at different times of the day. Everybody who lives in this area is working right now.
That's right. Everyone's at work or they're at school. They're out and about doing other things. But in the evening, this is a very active street.
And who would think that something like just this old auto parts building, which I think is beautiful when you really look at it, but it's, makes a significant statement, even something as simple as this little brick building.
It does. It really helps the neighborhood to have the historic buildings mixed in with the new buildings. It gives, the redevelopment agency was just saying, that it gives a chance for different kinds of businesses.
Yeah.
And the historic buildings seem to be really popular as restaurants.
Yeah. Look over here. What is this big new building being built over here, Janice?
That's a hotel.
So you got a hotel in over here. You've got these high rises here.
Residential.
This is residential here.
Residential wrapped around a parking garage for the people that come to play in the East Village as well as attend ball games.
And here comes a truck with Padre janitorial services. So there's a Padre theme in this neighborhood, isn't there?
Yeah, not connected, but but because of the missions in California.
Oh, that Padre,
Yeah, right.
not the San Diego Padres,
Right.
the Mission Padres. This big white kind of blocky building here, well, I said on the corner, it's called the Corner. What was this all about, Bruce?
Well, this was the Carnation building, the Carnation Dairy building.
So there was a dairy here.
There was a
plant.
bottling plant, and
Well, obviously it's not bottling anything today. What's going on in there?
well, it's residential. There's a restaurant on this end, and
Called the Corner.
right.
What's going on in the restaurant?
Sushi performance space is at the other end of the building.
Sushi performance
Performance space.
That's
It's
another
a-
one of those nighttime things.
Exactly.
I got to
It's
come back here at night.
modern dance, just a very avant-garde performance,
So
live
this
performance.
has become kind of, in a funny way, kind of like a little arts district here too, in a way.
Well, it was an arts district before the ballpark came in, and there's still some down here. But it's going to be the natural extension of the Gaslamp Quarter.
Yeah, and people live in this building now,
They do.
so it's tied together with that new
There's
building back behind there.
There's 3 big towers, and there's a smaller tower on the other end that are all part of the same
So
development.
it's all tied together.
Right.
Wow.
In bright colors.
This nice lady just came over and started talking and said you live over here.
In the Icon. It's the whole block, the whole city
So
block.
you live how high up?
We're on 4, but it's 25 stories tall.
And why did you decide to move downtown?
To be close to the Padres ballpark?
You're kidding.
No,
Just because of the ballpark.
just because of the
So
ballpark.
you're hardcore Padre.
We're hardcore baseball.
But there are other advantages, aren't there? Other than just
great
being-
restaurants. This is the best pizza in town, basic pizza.
in this building we were just
Yes,
looking at.
and they make a wonderful salad.
Uh-huh. So you eat down here, you live down
Down
here, you
here.
go to the ball game down here.
We do, and we go to Balboa Park a lot because it's a wonderful. Have you been to Balboa
Oh,
Park?
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is really kind of
Oh.
centrally located, isn't it?
It is, and it's developing. It was mostly industrial, I understand.
Yeah.
We're originally from San Francisco.
So
And
you like this urban
oh, we
feel.
do. We love the urban. This is really urban.
Well, we took Diane up on her offer to come up on the roof of her building, the Icon building. We're 26 floors up, and look at this. Now, there's a view of Petco Park that is a $1 million view, and then you look right out here, there's Coronado Island, there's the Coronado Bridge over here. Then you move over here, there's downtown San Diego, and then right over here is kind of the part of the East Village. Right down here, you begin to get the perspective of how this neighborhood fits in to the entire city of San Diego. And Diane, I have to ask about these seats right up here. Is this where everybody comes? Let's all sit down.
Yes.
This is where you come to watch the Padres.
That it's true, and we have a screen TV behind us, a flat
Uh-huh.
screen, so we can
Barbecue
actually,
up here.
2 barbecues, seating for probably 30 or 40 people, and people sit and bring their food down here and watch the baseball
So
game.
this is a big social event up here.
It's a social gathering.
And I gotta tell you, this is as beautiful a view of the city and of the park and of the bay and of Coronado Island as I think you could find anywhere
I
in
think
San
so.
Diego.
It's one of the best rooftops, and you can see Tijuana, the hills of Tijuana. It's just beautiful.
Well, it really does. Coming from San Francisco, you got to feel right at home in a situation
I know,
like
except
this.
it's much warmer than San Francisco. We have the marine layer here, but it's really fog, but it's nothing like San Francisco fog.
Well, thank you for inviting us up
you're
here,
welcome.
and I will be able to work one of your parties into my busy social schedule.
Well, just give me your card.
I'll be here. The construction crane is looming overhead, new construction in the area, and then you pull out, and now this looks to me like the oldest building that we have seen so far in this part of San Diego.
It is. It was opened on July 4th, 1870. It's the oldest saloon and meeting house in San Diego.
Wait a minute. The oldest saloon in
That's right.
San Diego. It should have a plaque. It should have some sort of historical designation.
It is designated.
Historical.
It is.
All right, is it still a saloon?
No, it's a really popular restaurant called The Mission.
Okay, so it's a restaurant today. Has it always been here? Because in this part of town, things move around a lot over the years.
No, originally it was on the other side of town, right off of the pier on Kettner Street. And then it was moved around the turn of the century during some other earlier redevelopment, and then it was moved again as part of the Padres Ballpark project.
Wow, how far was this moved the last time?
Just a few blocks. It was over at Park and 12th.
Now, right over here, kind of catty-cornered from Rosario Hall, the oldest saloon, is this little, it looks to me like it's a church, but it's all boarded up.
Yes, it was a church. It was the Mexican Presbyterian Church built just after the turn of the century.
Okay, so it's closed now. What's going to happen to it?
It's going to be moved up here to the corner, and it's going to become the community center for the development that's going to go on this lot here.
So this is all kind of a work in progress there.
It is, and the old blacksmith shop down there on the corner is going to be part of the commercial space in the development.
So we got an old blacksmith shop that's going to be saved, and then this church is going to be moved up. So this is all kind of a work in progress. It's not finished yet, is it?
No, the entitlements are all done, but it'll probably wait for the economy to turn around before this is constructed.
You know, I think it's wonderful that this has survived, because over the years, once the congregation left, this could have very easily been torn down.
It could have been, but it became a residence later on. A couple other churches occupied it over time, and then it became a residence.
But it's historic because it dates back
to the turn of the century.
Another unsolicited testimonial from someone who works down here. You don't live here, you work here, right across the street.
Yep, absolutely. Down at Pony International, and East Gaslamp it's growing, it's changing, it's evolving. Petco Park has really helped grow all the businesses down here. It's fantastic.
How do you describe the feel this place has to it? Because we're down here in the morning, I hear at night it really has another whole feel to it.
Well, it's in transition. You have the Mission Cafe, which is a classic, and yet then you have kind of like the further down, like you have the East Barrio down there. So it's just kind of a mixture. It's just eclectic.
Yeah, but that makes it kind of interesting,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Because look, we got a trolley going by. We got the high rises off in the distance, and we got the old Rosario Hall right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you really everything kind of comes together.
It's fantastic. It's a good melting pot, actually.
It's all about juxtaposition here in this part of San Diego. There's the new, and this is the old, but even this building has a totally different story from every other building we've looked at this morning.
It does. It's actually a reconstruction of a building that was torn down, including some of the historic materials in the reconstruction.
Now, what was this?
This was Station A, part of the original power plant for the city of San Diego.
And why did you consider it important to reconstruct it?
It's one of the few neoclassical buildings that we had in San Diego. Very nice building, and when it was torn down, the agreement was with the city to have it reconstructed.
When was it torn down?
It was torn down about 12 years ago.
Wow, and look at it today.
It is a classic.
Now, what's it going to be today?
It's retail use and commercial building.
Wow, and this was a power station, neoclassical.
It was. You can see, the keys in the pediment and the coins on the corner.
Wow.
It's a very great, beautiful
and on
space.
ball game days, this is where
This is the main entrance.
Yeah.
Right here.
This is the center of activity.
And you go right up through the Western Metal Building over there.
The Western Metal Building, that's our last stop, and boy, is it a surprise. This tops them all. The Western Metal Supply Company, and look closely as we pull out, because that building is part of Petco Park.
Right. In fact, Petco Park was classified as an addition to a historic building so they could retain the building.
The park was built around Western Metal Supply Company.
Yeah, just a small addition to the historic building.
Now, you said that little yellow line on the side of the building is...
the left-hand foul line right there.
So that's built in. And
is.
you said that this park was designed by a world-famous architect.
Yes, Antoine Preduc. It's a very beautiful ballpark, but what gets the most comment around the world is the Western Metal Building.
Why was that left there? They literally built the park around that building?
They did, and it includes the team store, the very expensive skyboxes, and a restaurant and a bar on top now.
Was it originally a metal supply company? I mean, that's where it sat.
It was metal supply and hardware. They had a huge, thick catalog that supplied practically anything you can think of, from appliances to bolts and sheet metal as well.
And how good of an idea was it to save that building?
It's really put Petco Park on the map.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
It really has.
It makes us different than any other ballpark in the world.
Yet I'm sure the architect who designed this grand park is a little miffed from time to time that he gets overshadowed by the old metal supply company.
Yeah, I'm sure he would like a little more renown for what is really a beautiful ballpark if you see it.
Well, the ballpark is beautiful. This part of San Diego, this neighborhood is beautiful. It's called technically
East Village.
But we've had people today call it the East Gas Lamp District. You want it called the Historic Warehouse District,
which is its historic name.
You put in a plug for that name. Whatever it's called, Ballpark Village, whatever it's called. This place has been restored and revitalized. It has new, it has old, it has energy, it has history. It has people living here, working here, walking their dogs here.
That's right.
We've seen it all this morning, just walking around. And again, different times of the day, the energy level ebbs and flows. It has a different feel to it. But look at this right here. We got a group of school kids having their lunch here today in this beautiful park within a park. Here's the old candy factory here. Here's Petco Park right here. Thank you all so much for a wonderful day.
You.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations to both of you working together.
That's an example of redevelopment done right.
Yeah,
that's right.
It really is.
We're very proud of it.
Redevelopment done right here in downtown San Diego and East Village. This place definitely one of the finest examples of a very successful California community. Well, hello everybody, I'm Hewell Hauser, and I sure hope you enjoyed our visit to San Diego's East Village. What an exciting, historic, vibrant community. And if you'd like to go on this particular adventure again, share it with family or friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library. Well, it's available on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.
California's Communities is supported by the California Redevelopment Association Foundation, a statewide organization made up of cities, counties, nonprofits, and private businesses sharing a common goal of bringing renewed life to neighborhoods and downtowns by expanding local businesses, creating jobs, building affordable housing, restoring buildings, and improving public facilities and infrastructure. Redevelopment, building better communities throughout California.